Hey YouTube, it's Prep for Life. I got a chance to get my hands on a Seek Outside 16-man shelter temporarily and really give it a test, put it through its paces. I'm excited to share with you what I've learned and why I think this might just be the best bang for the buck as far as a 4-season shelter. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got the 16-man all set up. This thing's massive. I don't even have room in the yard for it. Let's go walking around a little bit. Going inside. Let's take a look here. I mean, this thing is palatial. Unreal. You get about 11, almost 12 feet of clearance up there. And plenty of room to set up any number of cots. I mean, this is several guys and gear and a stove. I don't think we'd have an issue. Let me go ahead and back up. Go from the inside again. That is unreal. I'm very impressed. So I got the kids to all pile up in here. Wait, lay flat, dudes. I mean, to give you an idea of how big this thing is, it is absolutely insane. Unbelievable how much space you have in here. It's crazy. Alright, so here's Solo, 6-foot individual walking into the 16-man to kind of give you a comparison. There is tons of room in here. I mean, this thing, it's hard to get a sense from a video of how big these shelters are. But as far as like emergency preparedness for a full family, packing gear, packing a heat source stove in the winter, I don't think you can beat it. Seek Outside does come with a built-in vent, which I do like. Doesn't really change anything with the condensation though in the morning, I do have to say. But it's nice to have. So definitely something to remember on the Seek Outside. Don't leave your zipper all the way up. These do go all the way to the top, and if you've left it up, you're kind of out of luck as far as reaching them. So while I still have a little bit of light here, I wanted to talk about this sod skirt. So you'll notice they build in about 3 inches or so of natural sod skirt. You'll notice again, just like my Cimarron, there's 2 loops here. So you can either stake the outer, stake the inner. There's a lot of different options here. And one thing I do like about the Seek Outside is you've got these guy out points that not only you can use for stability, but additionally, if you just don't have the footprint like we do here, you can actually pitch it at a smaller angle. And so you have almost 2 teepees in one. That's one thing I got to try out. Okay, so in my backyard, I didn't have room to pitch the full 16-person tent. So that's actually one of the big pluses that I've wanted to try out for a while now on the Seek Outside is the flex pitch. So you'll notice there's, down around the bottom there's a whole line of guy out points that when you're at a full pitch, you can either tie out, maybe using some paracord, or if you just don't have the room, stake it in using those, pull your pole a little bit lower, and you have a smaller teepee. So you're basically getting 2 sizes of teepees for one price. Going in, it's clearly not going to be as big as the 16-man, but I would estimate, I'll have to do some measuring in here, I believe you're still probably looking at a good 8-man teepee. And looking up, we're probably still looking at maybe a good 9, almost 10 feet of clearance. So it's still pretty impressive. One thing I really like about the Seek Outside is, I don't think you can see it from here, on the top and bottom of this standard pole, they actually come with a plastic plug. And it may seem like a small thing, but when that pole isn't open to just start hogging in dirt, it actually works really, really well. I don't have to go find something to rest it on. I don't have to find a piece of wood or a rock, which I've seen with some of the other lightweight floorless. Now, two things I found absolutely invaluable when I started teepee camping was, for one, here on the left, that is a lightweight cot. Now, I'm a bigger guy. I really do like my comfort. Unless you're getting into, let's say, the Thermarest or the Hillinox, where they're absolutely tiny and lightweight, you're not necessarily going to pack this in. But for the most part, with a teepee this big, I'm going to be car camping. And this thing is only, gosh, I'd have to look up the specs on it. Got to be maybe 5 pounds or so. So they're not that bad, and they sit really low to the ground. So you still get the comfort of a cot, but in a teepee with the beveled edges coming up toward the top, you still save a ton of space. You can also store some gear underneath. Also, these little stools here on the right hand side. The stools, as opposed to a regular camp chair, are really going to treat you right because they angle your back in the right direction and let you take advantage of the sloped walls as well. So 2 huge recommendations for when you start camping in a teepee. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and set up the stove here. This is the packaging that Seek Outside sends you. And again, I'm a big fan of wearing just a pair of work gloves here while I set these up. There's our stovepipe, there's our collar, we have a spark arrestor, there's our flue. Looks like we can adjust the fire pretty good from there. So that's our door. Since I've got the 16-man teepee, this is a big stove. Believe me, it may not look that big on the video, but when you're talking about in-tent stoves, this is pretty massive. Let's go ahead and put it together. Now, always good to have some extra wing nuts so that if you do get the snow platform, which I recommend, and it looks like Seek Outside, I haven't ordered one yet, but they do make theirs so that it's more of a utility shelf as well. So you can actually not just use it to keep your stove out of the snow. Trust me, that's a definite benefit. But also in the summertime, you can set up little shelves, a little tier system. It looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and pass these through.
I see a window with a light. I see 2 heads of snowy white. I can almost hear them both recite. Where is my wandering boy tonight? I got those Blue Ridge Mountain blues. I'll stand right here and sing. Every day I'm counting till I climb that mountain on that Blue Ridge far away. I got those Blue Ridge Mountain blues. I wanna see my old dog train. I wanna hunt that possum where the cornfields blossom in that Blue Ridge far away. In that Blue Ridge far away.
I'm going to go ahead and put our door in here. Slides right in, no problems. Not too much friction. I like that. Should be pretty easy to adjust. I'm going to go ahead and set this in the tent. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and take spark arrestor. You can see it's got a bunch of holes. Go ahead and rest that right in there. Now, next is our flue, and this is going to kind of control how much the fire flows. So we'll put that there. I'm going to offset these arms so I can have a little bit more control there. And there we go. Now we're just going to hook in the chimney.
When I was young and in my prime, I left my old home in Caroline. Now all I do is sit and pine for all those folks I left.
I wanted to lay out all the cots. As you can see, Mrs. Prep for Life is checking it out. We've got a full 5 6-foot pads in here. Again, this is an 8-man teepee, and I'm going to step out to give you a sense here. So again, coming out, you've got 5 pads and the biggest stove they make, and there's still quite a bit of room here, guys. For gear, as you can see, there's tons of room on the ground. For wood, gear, whatever it might be, I'm pretty impressed with the use of space. Okay, so tucked in for the night. You can hear the rain. It's going crazy out there. We got our soaked clothes hung up, drying out. Alright, fire's going. Everybody's tucked. Oh yeah. It's a good night to be in a hot tent. Okay, so we got rained out pretty heavy. We weren't planning on that. And I think due to user error, because I was setting up after it started raining, we were pretty muddy inside. But having a hot tent really helped. We sat out the storm. You can see it's a beautiful morning, a lot of fog. There's my Seek Outside 16 man. And we got a Seek Outside 12 man right here. And just a good time. Sorry if I'm out of breath just walking through the mud. It gets crazy. It's beautiful though this morning. So I'm really impressed with this 16-man shelter. Not only did we fit all 5 of us in there with full cots and all of our gear, but we still had enough space to gather around and eat dinner around the stove and weather out some really harsh conditions. They're not cheap. At the time of this video, the full shelter, a stove, and maybe a few extras, you're going to be over $2,000. But comparably, for other four-season shelters on the market of comparable size, I feel like this is the best bang for the buck.